Action.
Hello and welcome to Heather and Hops. Today we are going to be making pumpkin pasties on the request and with the additional help of Alex, also known as Mr. Hops, my lovely husband, who enjoyed some the other day and then was like, let's make a video for it. And we've spent, I don't know, 2 hours this morning rearranging the kitchen to try and make this work. So hopefully it's fun and you enjoy this process. So if you want to make some, I'll try and do the recipe and put it in the thing down in the bottom. But to start with, we are going to make our own pumpkin puree, mostly because most places local don't actually stock that very frequently, and if they do, it seems to sell out very fast. And you're not going to get any additional ingredients in. Alex is stealth moding by taking his shoes off. Which I'm aware that I will have to edit out. He's like, oh, we're just going to make our own pumpkin puree, and all we're going to do that is slice up, de-seed, and put a pumpkin in a roasting tray in the oven until it's soft. It could be half an hour, it could be 45 minutes. And then once that's in there cooking, we will get to making the pumpkin spice blend because I'm running low, and make pastry. And that all should time quite nicely for building it all together, and then we'll get making pasties. So I'm going to leave it to Alex to chop up and de-seed the pumpkin, and I'm sure he can maybe tell you a little bit more about it too. And I'm worried that I'm going to upset and ruin this beautiful little pumpkin. So yeah, you ready to chop?
How do you want it? Peel?
Chop it in half. No, because when they are roasted, the skin becomes so soft you can normally peel it off. There's no point. What kind of squash is this, or pumpkin?
It's a green one. Cat made me dress like a pumpkin.
This was totally self-directed.
It smells like a pumpkin.
Should I get you a bowl, sir?
Bowl would be good.
Come and get you a bowl.
Nice idea to use a non-pumpkin pumpkin. Don't you
Yeah.
think?
I'm curious to what it's going to taste like compared to...
Yeah.
It's always fun. The last time you made it, we used a normal, just a actually like little tusk tooth in the background, which is this one. It's called tusk tooth. Some people will know what this is.
It's meant to be quite a sweet one. I think it's called a delicia. It's delica or comes from Italy.
I'll have to ask my lovely Italian.
After harvesting, the pumpkins are cured in heated warehouses to drastically reduce their water content. The resulting fruit has an incredibly dense, sugar-laden flesh, perfect for roasting. So it might be quite a dry one, so we might need to put some water in it.
Just add a splash of water.
Just like that?
Yeah, maybe smaller one, but yeah, perfect.
Yes, boss.
Yeah, you're the boss.
Okay.
To a roasting tray.
Which is skin down.
We'll get them into the oven, and then in the meantime I'll make the pumpkin spice and the pastry. Hi friends! So now we're going to make the pumpkin spice blend, which I have probably got just about enough to make a portion of these pastries, but it's always nice to have more. So I'm going to sort of eyeball it, but the actual ratio is 1 part cinnamon to, these are just ones that we have, half part ginger, which is actually back there, whoops, a 1/4 part nutmeg, and a 1/8 clove, but I'd also like to add 1/8 of allspice. So I'm just going to put those ingredients into a NutriBullet, it's just what we have, and then mill it up and then put it into the jar. So it's just the nutmeg, which I will be here for a fortnight grating, so. That'll do, pig. So I'm just going to blitz this up now. Top tip is to let it settle before trying to open it, because otherwise you'll be in a cloud of spice, which is nice, but not so great for your lungs. So I'm going to leave that, and we're going to move on to pastry.
Action.
Okay, I'm just going to move these over there. Do you want, let's put them next to Toss too, if they can dry them out a bit. This is just a really standard, normal, traditional shortcrust pastry, and a pinch of tumeric, just to make it a little bit more spicy. You could add a bit of sugar into it if you wanted to. We don't really have the sweetest tooth, and I think that the filling is incredibly sweet, so we don't have that in this house, but that's an option. So I'm going to use 250 grams of flour. Doesn't have to be a fancy flour, but just flour. I think it would also be quite good with a bit of whole wheat if you were feeling a little bit more like you wanted a crunch. I have to say that I was once upon a time a baker, and much like a chef who comes home and just doesn't cook the best food for themselves, I've become like that, apart from with presentation. We'll see what these come out like. It's about the flavour, not the appearance. So 250 grams, I'm going to add a bit of the turmeric in now. 1/4 teaspoon? You happy with that, Mr. Hops?
Yeah, we don't really want to taste it. It's more for colour.
I'd quite like to taste it, but yeah. 125 grams of butter, which we might even have lurking. Keep that for buttering the trays if we feel like we want to do that. 125, I did 120. To speed things along, this has actually been out of the fridge for a while, but to speed things along, I tend to do it from chilled and then cut it into small pieces, so my sometimes warm hands don't melt the butter so quickly, so it doesn't need quite so long to chill, which is also a step that I often skip when I'm doing a lot of other things. But with pasties, it's a totally different thing. Pastries, it's a bit different. Oh no, it's fine. Yeah, just give it a little smoosh. I'm not going to take it too far, in the hope of leaving it just a little bit flaky, just a little bit. We'll see. That might be to our detriment on the visual aesthetic even more so. We also realised after Alex, bless him, went out to get a few bits this morning that we don't have cling film. So usually I would cling film this, put it in Tupperware before it goes in the fridge. Today I'm going to flatten it a bit and use tin foil, just because Alex has got band practice and we're on a bit of a time thing, having decorated the kitchen for so long, which was really quite fun. So, and I've just added an egg and I'm just continuing to knead it. Yeah. Don't try this at home.
Started making it, had a breakdown. Bon appetit.
Where's James Acaster when you need him? Also, James Acaster is a really good D&D character name if you're playing a caster.
Gee.
Okay, right. It's good now it's done. I haven't done it so thin that it's going to become rock solid because we are going to have to wait a little bit because I realised that we can't have the oven on and talk to the camera at the same time. So I'm going to put this in about halfway through the pumpkin being done, maybe even 3/4 while we turn it into puree, and then I'll put it in the fridge and then we'll roll it out. Pumpkin puree into pasty. Wash the pasty, sprinkle the pasty, bake the pasty. Bon appetit. You smell? I'll keep us going for a little while.
So we've peeled the pumpkin and tasted it because we've never used this kind of pumpkin before. It tastes a lot like chestnuts. As it tastes like roasted chestnuts, so good. I think it's going to work in a baked good context. So now we're going to make some pumpkin puree. So I've been told that all we need to do is blend it up with a little bit of milk just to give it a bit of liquid. So here goes.
Because we've never used this one before, it did say it was a less water content. We should have maybe considered putting a piece of tinfoil on top of the tray or putting it in something with a lid, but otherwise it's absolutely fine. Delicious?
Actually is really good. It's sort of a bit cross between sweet potato and chestnut.
Nice.
Just give it a little.
Yeah, you can always add more.
That'll do. Then make some noise. So when you've blended it, you want this like thick consistency. This doesn't have any sugar in it added, but it's actually very sweet. It's yeah, it's like chestnutty, sweet potato. Very sweet though, very good.
You need 1 cup of that, and there's a cup measurer just there. I might.
That's a cup.
Aye. So you might need more.
You got a meanie?
Explain the meaning.
This is a meanie. This is what you use to get every last bit out of a bowl when you're making delicious treats. And it's called a meanie because there's nothing left for the kids to lick out of the bowl.
And then
do it all over again.
we want that one and that one.
To be mixed into here.
And 2 teaspoons of your pumpkin spice. And then that's the filling done too.
Alright, so we don't need the rest of it.
Oh, we'll eat it. We'll put it into something savoury, I think. Right?
Why did we choose such a tiny little bowl? Just to make me struggle?
Because the ratio we were going to do made a smaller quantity, but we've just increased it.
Shouldn't we be using a cauldron for this?
We don't have one. Yeah, so you just need probably 2.5
to wash my hands.
for that quantity.
2.5 what?
Teaspoons of your pumpkin spice mix.
Where is it? The teaspoon?
I had one out, but it's probably been washed a little away. There's another old Another ye old one.
I hope everybody appreciates somebody who can't bake baking this to prove how easy it is to make. Because I can't bake.
You can bake better than me.
I'm not a baker.
These days.
No way.
Yeah.
2 teaspoons of pumpkin spice.
You might want another half just because we've increased the ratio, haven't we? Because we've just finished up all the pumpkin mix.
It smells amazing.
It's a risky business. Will you remind me to sprinkle them and wash them?
Yep.
Is that pretty seasonal? Keep risking the extra bit, which means that it's leaking, but I just can't resist. You need to have enough pumpkin in there. Yeah.
Dip it in the cold wash.
Hold it to the rose. Smells like a rose. Ah. This is my granddad's joke. That shall forever live on with all of us, which is quite nice. Which I'm sure if you look that statement up on the internet or on YouTube, you'll find someone performing it.
You gonna put glitter on?
No, I wasn't, but would you like glitter? Do you want glittery ones?
No.
No. And then give it a fork. For who?
For me. Taste test. Pumpkin pasties.
How's the variety.
But the pastry's very good.
Yeah.
Heavily cooked. The little bit of salt and sugar on top's very nice. Crunchy.
It's a treat, huh?
Haven't got to the filling properly yet. Very good.
Too sweet?
Kind of puts me in the mind of those Indian sweets we get.
Oh, really?
A little sweet, but sweet potato kind of sweet. Very, very good.
If you were to have anything with it, what would you have? Just a coffee.
Nice cup of coffee. They're perfect.
Yeah? Like no drizzle of warm maple syrup or a bit of cream or...
I mean, definitely a bit of whipped cream.
Like maple whipped cream or just normal?
Yeah, they'd go very well with cream.
We don't have any of that, I'm afraid. But it's good.
Oh, they're really good. Very, very good. Did you have them?
Yeah, but I'm just going to have your little crumb. Fun, easy, simple. You could probably do most of it with a kid around. I mean, they'd end up like this one. But
extremely Moorish. It is just a folded over pumpkin pie, really, isn't it?
yeah.
Yeah.
Which makes it a really good treat to take to work with you. Cool.
Yeah.
You can if you really want.
Put my dungarees back on.
Eldritch Blast. So good.